Imagine looking up at your city's skyline, and instead of dark, empty glass, the entire building is just glowing. Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a truly fascinating pitch deck from a company called OTTIMEDIA. We're looking at a bold, highly ambitious proposal aimed at transforming dormant, everyday commercial real estate into high-yield media infrastructure. It is a massive conceptual shift in how we might view city skylines moving forward, and we're going to break down their entire argument right from the source material. But before we get to the flashy technology, we've got to address the elephant in the room. How do you actually save a collapsing, multi-trillion-dollar commercial real estate market? That is the central, highly provocative problem driving this entire pitch deck. It's the headache keeping city planners, institutional investors, and building owners awake at night right now because, let's be honest, downtowns around the world are effectively dying. Section 1, the real estate crisis. Okay, let's dive into this. The source material argues that traditional commercial real estate is currently facing an unprecedented existential threat. Basically, a fundamental failure in monetization. To really picture this, think about the biggest skyscraper in your city. Now imagine 70% of the people inside are just gone. Less than 30%. According to the data presented here, expected employment in global commercial real estate sectors is dropping below 30%. That is a staggering, historic reduction in the sheer volume of human beings physically occupying these massive, expensive buildings around the world. So what's causing this? The pitch deck specifically outlines 3 root causes that are actively hollowing out traditional office usage. First, the work-from-home shift. We all know this one. Physical desks are just sitting empty, permanently. Second, AI automation. This is rapidly accelerating the reduction in required corporate headcount. Companies literally just need fewer human beings at physical desks. And finally, the valuation void. As those traditional rental incomes plummet, these once premium buildings in global metropolises are facing rapidly eroding market values. It is essentially a perfect storm destroying asset valuation. Section 2, the transparent LED solution. So what's the fix? Well, OTTIMEDIA's proposed solution is a radical technological pivot. The core paradigm takes a static, underutilized office tower and instantly converts 1 to 4 of its exterior facades into a massive, highly profitable media screen. By deploying ultra-thin, high-resolution LED video walls across the building, they're aiming to turn the physical structure itself into a globally visible real asset. Now, if you work in one of these buildings, you're probably thinking, wait, am I going to be sitting in pitch black? The pitch deck claims an engineering moat to counter that exact skepticism. This specific transparent LED technology ensures 70% natural light penetration. It guarantees that while the exterior becomes a massive glowing monetization engine, the interior tenant experience remains totally uncompromised. The employees inside still get their sunlight and their city views. No caves here. Section 3, the dual-sided ecosystem. A flashy, glowing building is definitely cool, but how do the economics actually flow to create a frictionless market? For asset owners, OTTIMEDIA promises immediate revenue. We're talking a minimum of $200,000 a year in base rent, plus an automatic 20% profit sharing on any advertising clients referred by the owner. On the flip side, for global advertisers, it offers extreme arbitrage. They get prime visibility in major cities and rapid corporate depreciation because whole-year payments are made up front within just 1 week. It effectively balances massive incentives for both sides. Now, what's really interesting here is the sheer scale of the financial disruption they're pitching. A traditional top-location billboard, like a monolithic hub in Times Square, might command $24 million a year. By contrast, an OTTIMEDIA premium facade, let's say in a booming Mumbai metropolis, is pitched at just $200,000 a year. That is a staggering 120 times cost differential. It's a strategy designed purely to break the traditional location monopoly and completely upend how outdoor advertising is priced. Section 4, beyond advertising, real estate velocity. The platform doesn't stop at just displaying ads, though. It introduces a secondary psychological use case aimed at accelerating the actual sale and leasing of the commercial properties themselves. Think of this as high-speed targeted ads, but for skyscrapers. Step 1 is the micro-pitch, creating high-impact, 15-second summary videos showcasing available properties broadcast directly on these giant digital LED walls. Step 2 is automated rotation, where these property spots cycle automatically across the entire network of screens at zero extra expense. And Step 3 relies on psychological influence. By strategically targeting high-net-worth buyers locally in major metropolises, they aim to reduce physical viewing time and dramatically speed up contract signings for real estate portfolios.
So how do they actually execute this vision on day one? The launch strategy targets a flagship office tower in a metropolis like Mumbai or Delhi, customizing a massive LED video wall measuring over 2,000 square meters. By inviting 5,000 local and global tech giants to a live physical activation day, they are structurally projecting a minimum of 1 million views per 24-hour cycle to create instant momentum.
Section 5, Financial Projections and Capital Ask. Of course, executing a global infrastructure network requires significant capital. When we map out their aggressive timeline, it is crucial to frame these figures clearly as OTTIMEDIA's internal, highly localized projections. Within weeks 2 to 4 of their operational launch, they project achieving a tripled ROI. Moving to months 1 to 12, they estimate an absolutely massive minimum 3,000% yield, scaling global turnover to $900 million. And zooming out to years 1 to 5, they project scaling rapidly to ultimately exceed an $8 billion enterprise valuation as the network expands globally. The sheer audacity of those numbers is definitely something to marvel at. So the crucial point is, what exactly is the cost of entry to get involved in those projected global revenues? The equity structure breaks down like this. An entry stake of 1% requires $420,000, with a special June rate noted at $350,000. For major players, a maximum stake of up to 24% requires $9 million. The pitch also explicitly notes that high commissions are openly available for those brokering these massive global deals. To ease investor apprehensions surrounding moving sums that large, they've outlined a highly structured 4-part capital execution pipeline built on transparency. Step 1 focuses on legal structuring through signed stakeholder agreements and notarized deeds. Step 2 establishes joint financial control. Investors transfer a €3 million tranche to a joint bank account that they monitor daily via online banking. Step 3 is supply chain acquisition, where capital goes directly to LED manufacturers, and stakeholders are actually invited to visit the production facility in Vienna. Finally, Step 4 triggers the operational launch, releasing the second €3 million tranche to officially initiate massive scaling. But the private investment is just the primer. The strategy relies heavily on what they call institutional leverage. OTTIMEDIA states that the initial €6 million of private stakeholder capital, when combined with the founder's pending intellectual property patent, acts as a growth engine. This specific combination triggers a formal application to the EU Commission for an institutional multiplier, a minimum €30 million, nearly non-refundable financial support credit. This concept is designed to leverage the private money deeply while minimizing dilution for those early stakeholders. To bring it all together, the core argument woven throughout this deck is pretty simple. OTTIMEDIA firmly asserts that the future of the skyline is digital. They are pitching the creation of a massive untapped real asset class out of currently dormant commercial facades, backed by what they claim are airtight unit economics benefiting both owners and advertisers, and pointing straight toward an $8 billion global media infrastructure valuation. Which leaves us with this final provocative thought as we wrap up this explainer. Looking at the sheer scale of the crisis and this proposed technological answer, will turning our city skylines into giant digital networks be the ultimate salvation for a commercial real estate market on the brink? Or is this just an incredibly ambitious solution? I highly encourage you to look at the source material for yourself, question the models, and see where you stand. Thanks for joining me for this deep dive into the OTTIMEDIA pitch, and keep learning.